Today's video is brought to you by Audible.com. You can try Audible.com for free for 30 days and also receive a token for any free audiobook you choose. Just head over to audibletrial.com/smokescreen to sign up. Again, 30-day free trial and 1 free token for 1 free audiobook. It's really good for those A Song of Ice and Fire rereads. So again, to start your free trial of Audible.com, head over to audibletrial.com/smokescreen. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game of Thrones Foreshadowing series, and today we're going to wrap up Season 1, Episode 9, Later. Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome back to SmokeScreen. In this next scene, we have Dany trying to save Khal Drogo.
Do it. Save him.
There is a price.
Of gold, whatever you want.
It's not a matter of gold. This is blood magic. Only death pays for life.
Alright, so we have Dany talking to Mirri Maz Duur, telling her to use blood magic to save Khal Drogo. And of course we get the whole death pays for life thing reminder again. But the interesting thing here is right after this scene, it switches over to this.
Are you in agony, my lion?
No.
You look like you're in agony. The fire is burning your pretty soft skin.
So we have Tyrion and Shae playing a game in his tent with fire where he is actually feeling the pain, and that in combination with what we saw before as far as death paying for life, of course leads up to this in episode 10. And of course, this also takes away a little bit from the whole Tyrion Targaryen theory, since he does feel the pain of the candle. And in our next scene, we have Tyrion, Bronn, and Shae playing their various games, and we hear Bronn say this.
You've been north of the wall.
What brought you up there?
Look.
Now, I do not have a payoff scene for this whatsoever. I just wanted to throw this in here because this does bring up the question about Bronn and his past. Now, I do think what George R.R. Martin said was that he was just going to be a sellsword guy, that he needed somebody to walk with Tyrion as he left the Vale originally from his trial by combat. But of course, Bronn has grown in popularity, and a lot of people, for example, think he is like a reign of Castamere, a house who the Lannisters actually wiped out. Now, I don't think that's the case because he had plenty of opportunity to kill Tyrion, to kill Tywin, whoever he wanted as far as the Lannisters go. And he ends up helping them out as we see all the way through Season 7. But it does make you question who would send him up north of the wall and for what type of work. Does that somehow tie into Craster? Anyway, we continue with this scene with Tyrion, Bronn, and Shae, and of course we hear this.
I was 16. My brother Jaime and I were riding when we heard a scream. Her name was Tysha. She was a wheelwright's orphan. I forgot about everything but Tysha. And somehow I found myself in her bed. Jaime had arranged the whole thing. The road, the rapers, all of it. My father brought in my wife and gave her to his guards.
I would have killed the man who did that to me.
So we hear Tyrion tell the story of his first wife Tysha, which is kind of a big deal to his character, especially in the books. It really makes him who he is. He is a broken man. But we hear Bronn specifically say, I would have killed the man who did that to me. And later on, of course, we do see this. And in our next scene, Tyrion and the Hill tribes get ready to go off to war, and we see this.
Tribesmen of the Vale! Gather round! Your dominion over the Vale begins now! Onward to claim what is yours!
So they do rally behind Tyrion as he's going to be in the vanguard as his father tries to get him killed, and I think this is a great parallel to what we would see later when we see this.
There's our brave men knocking at our door! Let's go kill them!
So it was a great parallel there as far as Tyrion actually leading someone into battle and them shouting half man. And during our next scene, we see Robb capture Jaime Lannister.
By the time they knew what was happening, it had already happened.
So here we see the young wolf Robb at the time of the King in the North outmaneuvering the Lannisters, especially Tywin in particular, being the seasoned battle commander that he is. But later on we would see a little parallel in season 7 when we saw this.
And you took your army, your real army, and went where they weren't.
As Robb Stark did to me at Whispering Wood. There are always lessons in failures.
Yes.
So that did come back around, and Jaime actually learned something from this. He learned it from Robb, and he straight up told Lady Olenna this is where he got the idea to let Castle Lerock fall in order for them to take out one of Dany's allies, being Highgarden and the Tyrells. And finally we see this last scene when Ned is going to lose his head, and we see Arya watching from the Baelor statue, which is where the episode gets its name, and of course she watches this.
As we sin, so do we suffer. This man has confessed his crimes.
And my lady Sansa has begged mercy for her father. Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
So she sees Ned lose his head, she sees Sansa up there with her beloved Joffrey, and of course later on in season 7, we would kind of get the payoff for this scene when Arya remembers all this going down, and she kind of blames Sansa for it when we saw this.
Now he's dead. Killed by the Lannisters. With your help.
What?
I remember you standing on that platform with Joffrey and Cersei when they dragged Father to the block. I remember the pretty dress you were wearing. I remember the fancy way you did your hair.
You were there?
I was there. Standing in the crowd near Baelor's statue.
So although Arya was basically right bringing up the fact that Sansa still had these dreams of bringing someone's princess, it was really a matter of perspective, and she had no idea what Sansa actually had been through. So anyway guys, that'll do it for season 1 episode 9 Baelor. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon, and a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers, Griffin, Ball Guy 10, Lala Gig, Kissa Powell, Marylin Bentley, Marc Joseph aka the Snow in Winterfell, JoAnna, Anonymous, Holiday, Goska, HoonJive, Nicki Snow, Lo Horton, Erin Habig, Dean Bwell, John Carey, Anastasia, Jason Landers, Rhiaanon, DTizSmith, MJW, and Carole Brown. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support, especially during the off season. And thank you to everyone out there in YouTube land for all the support. I really appreciate it. And as usual, be sure to subscribe to get everything, and be sure to click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.